Greetings, viewers. Welcome to the Alaska Bigfoot Studies, where we also cover things paranormal such as UFOs. Now, there's been a lot of UFO sightings in Alaska. I encourage you to check out Jesse Desmond's book, Saucers of the North, where it goes through a whole history of sightings. But I keep hearing about reports. Of course, we have the Nimitz Tic Tac videos from a few years ago, but I took a video myself going through the Chuke mountain pass, and it was really strange because it was a very bright light that slowly rose over the mountain range, and the only thing it could have been was a military helicopter with a massive spotlight on it, but it was completely silent and it was not behaving like that. And I felt like it was pretty far out into the atmosphere too. So that was strange. I'm not saying it was an alien, but I could not identify what it was. Another video I took in Homer was this line of lights. Now this one is a little more suspect because I will admit it was kind of moving towards the airport, so it could have been a Coast Guard plane with an array of spotlights on it, but again, it did not typically act like an airplane, and I just thought it was strange. But anyways, my buddy Patrick, he lived in Bethel for years. He's done some reports for me about Bigfoot. I featured him on this channel. He had a couple videos I want to throw up there. I want to mention Beans Baxter video he took. I'll link to his channel where his pilot friend gave him a video the guy took on his phone while in the cockpit of some lights up in the atmosphere that were pretty high that he had never seen before, and you know, his long career as a pilot, and he could not explain. We'll check in with Rob Roy Menzies, and we're just going to keep doing investigations. We've got another Bigfoot expedition coming up in about a month, so I'm very excited about that. But let's check in with the guys.
Aliens, yes.
So you've had a pretty cool sighting yourself. Sometimes people come into the shop and talk about aliens. I
Yeah.
wanted to see what your thought on the UFO phenomenon was. What do you think they are?
Oh man. It's funny. I have not had a problem with UFOs since I was a kid. I've always been kind of open to it.
Right.
I've always thought there's got to be other life out there.
Yeah.
It would be really arrogant to think we are. Although I never thought I would ever see one, let alone experience what I can only describe as maybe a fleet. And I hate to sound crazy. Thank God my then girlfriend was with me, Lynn.
Right.
And we both saw it. If she was here, we would both describe the same thing. But it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I really never thought I'd see anything like that. And the realization of it took a few minutes, too.
Was that
what
the
we were looking at?
silvery spinning?
Yeah, it was like I want to say a circle of them. And it was this time of year too.
Right.
It was around this time of year. And I've noticed too around the dump in Eagle River, and I don't know if you drive past it right now, you'll notice there's just seagulls and eagles,
Right.
just constantly flying around that, and I think it's the dump.
Right.
I think that's what's attracting them.
Gotta
But I think the eagles are mating and doing their weird thing.
Okay.
But that's exactly what was going on when Lynn and I were hiking on the trail there, on the bike trail,
Right.
and that's when we saw them. At first, I thought there were a bunch of seagulls.
Yeah.
My mind said, "Oh, it looks like lures. They look like lures."
Yeah.
But as I started looking at them, it was like a cluster, like a circle of them, and they were all looked like they were blinking. And I kept looking at them, and they were so high up in the. I don't know if they were in the atmosphere or in the sky. They were so small. And again, jets were flying by, birds are flying around, but yet there was this thing going on.
Right.
Lynn, look. And she looked, and yeah, sure enough, she saw him. Oh, we got a visitor.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a very interesting sighting. I did do an animation of it,
Very cool.
which you can watch on the YouTube channel. And it's
Okay.
exactly what I saw.
I'll link that.
Exactly what I saw. So what we saw.
Very cool.
Anyway, I've always been intrigued by it. So it's definitely a good subject matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
So when it comes to UFOs, you know, I've seen some strange things in the sky that I can't really identify. I mean, by definition, that's a UFO. It's in the sky and I don't know what it is. It's unidentified. But I can't say that I've ever seen anything that I would for sure label a UFO. In my opinion, you know, a UFO is a suspected craft of non-human origin. I think a lot of UFO sightings are probably ours. They're probably secret military test flights, things like that. I think our technology is probably a little further advanced than most people realize. But here in Homer on Kachemak Bay, way back before my time, we actually had a flap of sightings that occurred here. People reported UFOs like coming up out of the bay, lots of UFO sightings over the bay. And someone, a friend of mine, when he found out that I was interested in Bigfoot and the unexplained, you know, most people assume that when you're interested in Bigfoot, you're also interested in UFOs and monsters and vampires and stuff like that. So he told me about a sighting that he had. He was working here in Homer, and I believe this happened, I can't remember if it was the 70s or the 80s, but somewhere in there. And he was setting up on, I believe it was on Baycrest Hill, looking across the bay, and he said he saw this orange ball traveling across the sky, and it was leaving little, almost like exhaust, like hash marks in the sky as it went along. And he drew it for me. This isn't his drawing, this is my interpretation of his drawing, but that's kind of what he described, is the ball floating across the sky, and it left behind almost like little exhaust trail behind it. And I've actually heard of another sighting, not here in Alaska, but I believe it was down in Louisiana, of almost something exactly like that. But, you know, I don't know what it was. He, I believe, thinks it was probably some kind of advanced military aircraft. And of course, you know, up here in Alaska, we've got a lot of military bases. We've got Air Force bases. We've got a Space Force base. So, you know, maybe that's what was going on. Maybe they were doing some winter testing up here for the new, you know, UFO models that they had invented or back engineered. I don't know. Personally, I don't know what to think about the UFO stuff. I mean, I definitely think people are seeing them, but as far as their origins go, I don't know. I think it's probably a mix. I think it's probably some of it's ours and some of it isn't ours. And the stuff that isn't ours, I don't know what it could be. I doubt that, just given the vastness of space, I doubt that we're being visited by other planets. I think it's more likely they're probably traveling through space and time, not necessarily space, to get here. It's you know, it's hard for me to even explain, but just giving, you know, the vastness of space, when you hear people talk about distances, it seems almost impossible for even some of the most advanced technology to be able to traverse those distances. So it makes me think that there's probably either a dimensional or a time travel element to it, but who knows? It's a interesting subject. And, you know, if I ever find Bigfoot, maybe, you know, I'll start looking for UFOs.
It's changing. They're all over the place.
Maybe they're
What?
when
Your camera is better than mine. Look at these, they're white, they're all over the place. Oh, they're changing color.
up there. Look at. Oh, there's a jet flying over too. Carol, look at all of them. They were in line earlier. Do you see them? What are they? No, they were all in line earlier. There was, look at that one up there. Oh, that one's going fast. Look at it take off. Look at how fast that one's going. Oh, there's some way up there, way up there. Look at.
Those are trash.
I don't think so.
They are soft.
In all seriousness, this is last night. You guys saw that sports humor that dude here. Well, lucky guy. I think there's a.
Look at how fast that one's going. It's going in the opposite direction.
There's an obvious one-sentence explanation for both rulings. The guns are in the Constitution. Abortion isn't.
Carol, there's some that are way up there. Look at. I mean, way up there.
They look like trash bags. Lanterns.
No, there were some that were.
Call it.
No.
For example, you could admit that Roe v. Wade was a deeply flawed ruling, and not only is it overturned, it's ending. That's the important thing. But you could also
Hey,
say, hey,
Chinese lanterns.
when something's been around for 50 years, why don't you just let it be? All right,
Memory of
we
something.
don't want to upset the apple cart. But the fact is, we've upset a lot of apple carts that we don't like.
Why were they in line earlier? There was. Look at that one. Way. Look at that. Now they're just appearing. There's some that are just appearing right now. Look at that one.
Even if you're pro-choice, you can be confident that this will be settled state by state. And
Oh, it looks like a parachute.
go on for some unborn children.
Look at that other one going fast, way up there. Look at.
You can vote in
You see it going streaking by?
the floor. If you don't like
Why would they do that? for
Carol, I don't even.
leaders,
Well, I don't know what they are.
There you have it. I think we live in times of high strangeness. Now, I do believe that there is reverse engineering going on and government involvement, but I don't know what degree it is at and how nefarious these people are. It's very confusing when you have the accounts of the UAPs and the government disclosure, and then you have Dr. Greer talking about this nefarious stuff. It's confusing, but I am going to continue studying it and researching it, and I'll have a new video up probably on Bigfoot next Sunday. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you soon.